Hey Bobcat fans, it's the best time of the year. It's the spring season. Our first coach's corner of the spring going to be the tennis program today. Lots of success for this squad and a lot of our spring teams, as it seems to be one of our stronger seasons, and we're looking forward to it. Got head coach Steve Barsby, we got Katie Krupp, and we've got Yannick on the show for you today, and it's coming at you right now. Hey Bobcat Nation, Al Weston here. Time to talk some tennis with the boss man, best looking guy in the athletic department. It's not just because I report to him, it's also because he's the tennis coach here at GC. Thanks for being with us.
Not a problem. Thank you, sir, for having me.
We're also going to try and squeeze in probably about 1 minute. That's what I'm going to give you on hockey later in the day.
Well, with 2 goals, I'll try to fit it in a minute, but we'll see.
Be prepared for that. That is key because we got to fit in that 1 hockey minute. This is the only time that the folks in Milledgeville get that hockey out there.
All right.
Okay. So tennis squad this year, I think we're getting some surprises both on both sides. I mean, you got a little bit of turnover, lost some key pieces on both sides last year, and it seems like you're reloading again, man. Are you pretty happy with where you're at so far? I'm
real happy. The guys have stepped up tremendously. I thought we were going to struggle a little bit with our schedule and everything, but they've played well. They've come out. They beat Flagler, which was a good team. We just beat a team 22 in the country yesterday. Struggled against Columbus, and struggled against Valdosta a little bit. Girls, real up and down right now. Some days we play like I think we're a top 5 team in the country, and some days we're a top 105 team in the country. But they're very talented. They're finding their way, and I think we're going to be all right in the end. But like I said, we're solid on both sides.
I think what you've got, both teams, is really solid from the bottom up.
Yep.
There aren't too many teams that are going to be able to compete with your, 4, 5, 6
on
both of these two teams. And that's, a recipe for success, isn't it?
Yeah, we're pretty deep because everyone's got a number one that's usually pretty good. With us being deep like that, so far the matches we've won, we've pretty much handled them at the bottom. Like yesterday, when we beat Southern Indiana, who's 22 in the country, I want to say 3, 4 through 6. It was over pretty quick, and then Haas and Schubert played real well at 1 and 2, which was nice. But 4 through 6 were usually pretty good.
Now we've got a pretty big week coming up this week. Got 2 home matches, and it seems like the crowds keep getting steadier and steadier, larger for you guys. There's quite a few people coming to watch tennis these days.
Well, when you have I think we got 5 freshmen who live in the residence halls now, and they bring all their friends. And I got a couple of the girls in the honors program who Steve Elliott Gower brings all the kids out from the honors program, which is great. I thought losing Wick and Johan last year was going to take the attendance down a little bit, the 2 legends around campus. But no, it's been great. The students have come out and supported. It's been some great days for it, so hopefully we'll continue with that.
This is one of the historically better programs that Georgia College puts out there year in and year out. Does that create a little bit of extra pressure, or is that something that you enjoy to try and meet those goals, those lofty goals that GC Tennis has?
No, there's always pressure. I tell them all the time at the start of the year, and when we're recruiting them, you're coming into something that we're trying to always move forward. Our goal is eventually to win a national title. Will that happen? Who knows? But that's the goal eventually. So, and I tell them, I try to give them a good lesson on where we've come from, not only as a tennis program but as a school. So I think that really put some ownership on them, and they become very proud of the whole environment and program.
The academic requirements of the school are very lofty, and it's tricky to get student athletes into the SAT scores and the GPAs and things like that. I know the other sports kind of struggle. You can't get those athlete first student athletes. And do you have the same issue in tennis, or are they pretty good academic base as well as athletic?
No, they're pretty good. We have some of it. You're always going to have some of it, but I think that the kids most tennis kids come from places that they've went to a good school, and so we target that kid, trying to get him in, and we lose kids all the time. Our main recruiting base in tennis, especially with the girls program, we've lost players lately to like Furman, Davidson, stuff like that. We very rarely lose someone to a Peach Belt school. But yeah, no, it's tough for everyone, I think.
Tell me about the game of tennis here in the Southeast. I mean, this is just, I mean, as good as it possibly gets as far as Division II tennis goes, right?
Yeah, the Peach Belt, I think the 7th team in the Peach Belt right now is 22 in the country or something. So it's pretty tough, but you know, you have a lot of good players to pick from too. The South is where tennis is. Georgia's probably the biggest tennis playing state in the country next to Florida. So, you know, there's tons of players out there. And then the international kids, they want to go somewhere where the weather's nice. You know, they don't want to play in Michigan where it's snow and whatever. So it works out nice for us.
You have that unique balance too. You bring a lot of international students, as you mentioned, and it seems like the last couple of years, some good recruiting in Georgia as well. So that gives you a roster that's kind of split 50-50 on both sides. How do you balance that new experience of coming to a new country, as well as, you know, the in-state guys that, you know, this is kind of old hat stuff for them? How do you keep a good gelling of a squad like that?
Yeah, with a small team like us, it's a little easier. When you have, let's say you have 4 foreign kids, 4 American kids, they seem to get together. And the one thing our American guys and girls have done a great job with is they take them home on weekends in the fall when we're not playing as much, so help them with their adjustment to here. So, you know, it's more of my kids doing a great job with it than actually, you know, they're here, but I don't do a lot with it. You know, I provide an environment for them that's good, and then, you know, they hang out with their buddies, and so it works out pretty well.
Now, moving forward from here, and I know you guys get very involved in the community. You had that great event in the fall for the Make-A-Wish Foundation at Milledgeville Open. Is that something that you see as part of the student-athlete experience at Georgia College? Is that key that you're trying to show you know, a more well-rounded student-athlete that way? Yeah,
I tell them all. I said, if you're playing for me, the odds of you playing professional tennis are slim to none. You know, so they have to do something that when they leave here, they've contributed something, whether it's, you know, some wins to the community, to whatever. And I tell them when they get out of here, that's what they want them to do. You know, they volunteer at my kids' school all the time, and then when we did the Make-A-Wish thing, you know, it was neat for them to see it. We brought Abe Gaines to talk to the team, so put a sort of face with it. So that was great. Abe and Tasha came in, and Mark, and talked to the team, and that was real impactful for them. So that's why I think the money went up. You know, once they realized, you know, personal touch to it. And our goal this year is to bump it from 5,000 to 8,000 and get a whole wish for somebody. So
outstanding, outstanding. Well, I know we're a good chunk of the way toward that goal set, and I know the other teams, of course, chipping in for that as well to make a wish, the Division II philanthropy nationwide. So that's big stuff. All right, so we got it. We got 1 minute left here, Coach.
1 minute
before I bring in Katie Krupp to talk some more tennis with her. So tell me, what's going on in the world of hockey?
Well, Canada obviously just won the gold in men's and women's. You know, we had to watch it in Columbus while we were on the road. We watched the gold medal game, which was nice. We had a rain delay, so I didn't have to tape delay it, so that was real nice.
Okay.
The Leafs are in the playoffs, and I know you make fun that every team gets in the playoffs.
Right,
that's not a big deal.
That's true. Yes.
But the Leafs, you know, usually don't get in, so for me that's a big deal. But
have the playoff? When do the playoffs take place? Have they started already?
About a month from now. Not that you care, but about a month from now.
Have they locked a spot already?
Not locked.
Okay,
it's
but
never
if
locked.
They started today, they'd be in.
Started today, they're in. So big news in the Barsby household. Everyone's fired up about the hockey.
Because it has been a little while, correct?
Well, they were in last year, but didn't last too long.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're hoping to go maybe a round or two deep
hopefully,
at least, right?
Hopefully.
All right. And that's big news up in Toronto, I assume.
Big news. You know,
all right. So
I don't think it's big around here yet. We're trying.
Yes. The only owner of the DirecTV hockey package is this guy.
I found another guy in town. I won't bring his name up on the air, but I got another guy.
Awesome. All right, well, that is your hockey update, and I appreciate you sticking through that. If you can stick through the break, we'll also have Katie Krupp for you. Later, we'll add in Yannick Haas. We got a full slate of tennis stuff for you today. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Good luck to you this week, and good luck for the rest of the season. Catch the Bobcats on the website, gcbobcats.com, and we'll be right back with Katie Krupp.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. and giving up, impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Find me one. What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
Little tadpoles, the frogs, the spiders, this is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Get your ass suit. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, we're back here with Katie Krupp. Katie, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're excited to have you. Coming to us from Evans, Georgia. I know the recruiting a little bit different. We're also going to have Yannick on the show today, so we're going to talk about international recruiting.
Okay.
But what about in-state of Georgia? How did you get to Georgia College? How did that come about?
Well, I've heard Georgia College was a really good school, and also I was friends with Kayla Barksdale, who went here, so I heard really good things from her. And then I looked at a bunch of schools in the Peach Belt, and Georgia College was just the one that fit me. Had a great campus, and coach was awesome, so I thought this was a good school to come to.
A lot of the coaches will talk about once they get you on campus, the beauty of the campus and that sort of thing. It kind of sells itself. Once we got you on campus, we pretty much lock you in. That's the way I understand. Was it much of the same for you?
It was. When I had the tour and then coach took me around school, it was just the dorms, West Campus, and the courts and everything. It just was great. And Front Campus was really pretty. That's my favorite part.
You mentioned Caleb Barksdale, one of our assistant coaches this year, and also assistant in the athletic department administration-wise. What was the relationship with her? How did you get to know Kay?
We had a lot of mutual friends. She played at a different tennis club than I did, but we went to a lot of the same tournaments, and the group of kids from my club and her club were really close. I just through everyone else, I found her.
You mentioned club tennis. I know that's kind of like a much more important piece in the high school level. A lot of our sports will recruit from high school teams, but it's really the club tennis at the high school level where you see the elite type players. Is that correct?
Right. High school tennis and then tournament tennis is a completely different level.
Gotcha. Now, so the clubs that you're playing, with and against, are there teams in the Peach Belt Conference that have players that you remember from playing against in high school or in those clubs as well?
Yes, a lot. When I look up the rosters, I see like all these familiar names, and it's kind of bringing back a lot of memories.
So a little bit of a homecoming every match you play. Then,
Right.
All right. Well, let's switch gears to the academic element, and you're in your second year now at Georgia College. You got it all figured out. There's no problems for Katie Krupp now, right? And what was the adjustment like for you as a freshman student athlete, and what did you find was the hardest element to try and get a grasp of? The academics, all that balancing that you have to do.
Yeah, it was probably maintaining my time, like everything with after practice and then having to go home and just get ready and just go to the library and be willing to study for hours and make sure I get all my work done was probably the toughest part. A lot of my classes do require a lot of studying, so that's kind of tough, but once I got a hold of it, it was easier to do. And with a bunch of teammates that are in the same position, it makes it easier to be willing to study.
And our women's tennis team, typically one of our better academic squads. So, these are seniors and juniors that have, 3.0 plus and can tell you how to get the job done.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, so looking at that academic element, we're looking at an exercise science major for you. And I know it's early on in your collegiate career here. Do you have a goal set of where you'd like to go with that?
Right now, I'm thinking of an orthopedic physician's assistant.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, I guess segueing from that, you had an injury this past fall that sidelined you for a little bit. It was a wrist, I believe?
Hamstring.
Hamstring, okay, hamstring.
Yep.
Very connected to the hamstring. But tell me about that, the adversity to that, not being able to play for a whole fall season. And did it give you a little bit of extra fire here for the spring?
Yeah, it was watching my teammates be able to play last fall and not being able to be out there with them was probably the worst feeling ever. But now that I'm back with them and being able to be a team, and everything's coming together, so hopefully we'll do great.
Awesome. Well, now I know the position that you play for our squad. Sometimes a lot of the matches, the deciding play, the deciding point for the team has actually fallen on your shoulders in a couple of occasions. Actually, most recently this week, I believe, against Montevallo.
Right.
Is that something that goes into your mindset while you're playing that individual match against that individual person, or are you just trying to win every time and it doesn't make that much of a difference?
Well, I try to get the point as fast as I can. I try to win so I won't have to be the deciding match.
That's a good point.
That
I like
weight
that.
on someone else's shoulders. But sometimes it does come down to me, and it gets a little nerve-wracking, but I know my team's there to support me, so I try to pull it out for them.
We talk about the nature of tennis is interesting because you're playing both as an individual and then also on that doubles pair, and the style, the contrast. How do you manage like the playing for yourself, but also your result does also affect the team?
Right. You're out there by yourself, but I mean, like I said earlier, you know your team's behind you, and even though you are on the court by yourself rather than like with another person on the court with you, you know overall what you do on the court is going to affect the team as a whole. So you try to win as an individual to win for the team, I guess.
Sure. That makes good sense. Now, talking about this team in particular, we've had such good success in women's tennis, and I'm sure that was a good part of the reason why you're on this team. You look at that history and the number of years in a row that we've made the NCAA tournament. That's all part of the goal set, and is this a squad, do you think, that can achieve those sorts of goals as well?
Oh, absolutely. All of our freshmen are great that we got this year, and Ivana's a great leader that we have as a senior. And we're still working on meshing together, but it's coming together great, and I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
Very cool. Now, we talked early on about the management of all the aspects of being a student athlete. You have the classes, you have the road trips, you have practices, and also competition. Now, you added a little bit to that for yourself. You're also the Student Athlete Advisory Committee for the women's team representative. Now, tell me first of all why you would voluntarily take on that extra piece, and then what does that role mean to you?
Well, I saw Kay and Victor were really involved in it last year, and everything that they did I thought was really cool. And so when the opportunity came about this year, I was like, for sure, I'll take it. Like, I'd love to help and be able to do a lot of stuff for Make-A-Wish also, which I love about our whole SAC committee. So, yeah.
It seems like you're involved in philanthropies for the team as well. I know Coach Barsby will get you guys out in the community doing, different type of projects and things like that. And it also seems like I've seen a lot of you in those pictures. Is that an area of focus for you? Is giving back to a community something that was kind of ingrained from you as a youngster?
Yeah, I don't know. I really like helping people, and I guess that's why I want to go into the medical field.
That's a good field.
So yeah. I like when I see that I help people and I see it on their face and stuff, it gives me a good feeling.
Awesome.
Kind of sounds cheesy, but.
Well, it works, and it's great for the Baldwin County area as well. This is a program that has that great GPA, lots of success on the court and off. And Katie, I thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having
your
me.
time. So we'll be right back with Yannick Haas after the break, folks. We got a nice full day of Georgia College tennis. We'll be right back.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, we're back here with Yannick. Thanks for being with us, Yannick.
Thanks, sir.
Yannick's a sophomore, and he's a key member of this men's tennis squad. How's the season going so far, buddy?
I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, we lost to Valdosta and Columbus, but apart from that, we're doing well. I mean, we won all our home matches and doing good on the road, so yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, tell us about the recruiting path for you. How did you get to Georgia College? I know there's some services and recruiting services over there in Germany, and you know, how did that path come about?
Exactly, like you said, I talked to an agency back home in Germany, and they applied me to some schools, showed me some schools, and Philadelphia, there was a big one. I think it's Temple.
Okay.
And then Alex here from Georgia College texted me, Alex Schubert from the tennis team. And yeah, he talked to me about Georgia College and told me how nice it is and about the campus, all the guys here, and yeah. And then Victor Anderson texted me, our assistant coach right now. Yeah. I mean, I think they convinced me. I talked to Barsby on the phone, and yeah, everything sounds pretty good, so it worked out well.
Is it living up to its expectations?
Exactly, yeah. It's pretty nice, yeah.
All right, well, that's good. Now, tell me about you know, having somebody from Germany on the team. Did that help you to make that decision? Did you think you would be more comfortable with having Alex Schubert here?
I think so, yeah. I talked to some other universities that had even more. They had like 4 or 5 Germans, and I didn't really want to go there because I want to improve my English and not talk German all the time.
Okay, okay.
In my first semester, we had 2 other Germans, Andy, who's visiting right now, and Schubert. Yeah, it was kind of hard because we were always talking German on the trip. Everyone was getting like a little bit nervous, and from the Americans was like, what are you talking about? But now I think it works out well. I mean, we talk English a lot more, and yeah.
Good, solid tennis program with the history and multiple years in the NCAA tournament. Coming into that, were you aware of the success that the team had and the high level really of tennis here in the Southeast in Division II?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I talked to some former college players from back home from my club team, and they won the national title with Valdosta State. Okay. So they told me about how Division II is going to be, and yeah, I mean, it's the top team in Division II, so I think we're competing for the regional title every year, so yeah.
All right. Well, you come in as a freshman. You're in the lineup day in and day out. What was the biggest adjustment for you coming across the pond? Was it just being so far away from home, or was it balance those academics and athletics? I mean, what was hard for you?
I think it was both, like you said. I mean, it's far away from home, but with the team, it's kind of a new family, and everyone tries to help each other, and we get along well, and yeah, it's really like a family, and we work hard with each other every day, and coach is trying to help us wherever he can, so it's really nice. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, tell me about Germany. What do you miss the most? If you could grab one thing from back home and plop it here in Milledgeville, what would that thing be?
Definitely the food.
Okay.
Definitely.
We don't have a good German restaurant here in Milledgeville. Maybe there's a niche market for you. You can start something after graduation, perhaps. But okay, so the role a little bit different for you this year. You were, you know, everyday starter for us last year, but now you're in that top slot. What is it like knowing that every match you go into, you're going to get the other team's best guy?
I mean, it's hard on the one side, but on the other hand, I like competing with really good guys, and I think it makes you better if you play better opponents. So, and I think every one of us has to step up. I mean, we lost our top 2 and our 6th guy. So in doubles we have to step up anyway, and even in singles, yeah, I mean, everyone has to try to play his best like last year, of course, but I think it's even more important this year because we lost our top 2 players, so yeah, trying to figure out a way to compensate this. Yeah.
You talk about those 2 guys, both of them back as assistant coaches this year, as Victor Anderson and Johan Wadstein. Good leaders for you last year as seniors, and really provided that strong base for you. Now both of them onto the assistant coach ranks, and the leadership role kind of slides down. And who's been filling that gap for you this year?
I think it's definitely Alex Schubert as a senior, as the only senior. But Victor and Johan are still taking a huge influence on the team, like coming back as they're still part of the team, and they're like one of the guys who's playing, and yeah, I mean, they try to help us wherever they can.
Awesome.
Still doing a pretty good job, yeah.
Very good, very good. Tennis is such a unique sport because you're playing as an individual, but the efforts also, of course, affect the team. You're trying to get team wins and losses
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
So, how do you? Is it difficult to try and focus on the rest of the squad, the team camaraderie and that sort of thing? How does that come about?
It's really natural for me to support the other guys, and when I'm on my court, I see a good shot on the other courts. I try to support the guys, try to get them fired up, and I mean, it's more of a team sport in college. It's not like you compete for your own. I mean, it's your own match, of course, but you really care about the result in the end. It doesn't matter if you have 5 wins, who got the wins. It's just like get 5 points, and that's what matters. So
Sure. All right, so goal set for the year. I don't know if you guys, will set it out, and these are the things that we want to try and achieve. But you go into a sophomore campaign and trying to figure out what you're going to try and accomplish as a squad. What are the goals for you guys this year?
I mean, we went to regionals final last year, lost to Armstrong in the final, and I think this should be our goal this year: go to at least the regionals again, go to semifinals, finals, and try to go as far as we can and see how it goes.
All right, absolutely. Well, economics major. I know you're working through the business school here at GC. How do you like that, and what do you think are the long-term goals with that economics degree?
I like my classes a lot. It's pretty interesting, and it's entertaining sometimes. Depends on the teacher.
Sure, absolutely.
But I don't really know what I'm going to do after college. Maybe I try to do my masters here, do the assistant coach. I don't know yet, and apply for jobs here and back home in Germany, and see if I can stay here or go back. I don't know yet.
All right. Well, if you know of any openings, looking for an economist, you'll have your guy right here in Yannick Haas. Yannick, thanks for being with us, buddy.
Thanks.
Catch the Bobcats on the court this time. Got 2 matches this week. Got Concord today, so probably won't get this out in time for that. So check gcbobcats.com for that. And then on Friday, Ferris State going to enjoy taking on the Bobcats. We'll see what we can pull off against Ferris State, one of those squads from the north. For Yannick Haas, for Katie Krupp, and also for Steve Barsby, our time here has come to a close. Check the Bobcats on the courts at gcbobcats.com as well. And thank you for being with us here on the Bobcat Coach's Corner.